Please hold, I'm tweeting. All right, y'all, what is up? Let me pop out the chat so that we can actually read it. Over here so that's a little more visible. All right, so we have decided that today would be a good day to try Chance's biscuit recipe. So Chance is a Southerner, and he rightfully talks a bunch of crap about Northern biscuits because Northern biscuits are terrible. And so he made a video where he was teaching his friends how to make like biscuits his way, which he shared in the Party Corky Discord. And now we're gonna give it a shot. So I was gonna do this on my own, and then Marisa was like, "Nah, you're a terrible baker, so I'm gonna supervise." So Marissa's gonna supervise, and we're going to start by doing the mise en place. So we need first 2 cups of flour. I guess I can just put that right into the bowl, can't I? Okay. So we have, that one's basically empty, so we'll just use that one for dusting like you told me to. Here we're gonna do 2 cups. No flour mounds. Okay. And then we've got this one. Okay, that's 2 cups. Then we need, we're done with that now. So we need 1 teaspoon, this one, of baking soda, baking powder, and salt. So get down in here, get this baking soda. Okay, nice and level. Okay, let's get the baking powder. Nice and level. And then we will do the salt. Okay, so we've got our flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt, and that's all of our dry ingredients. So that's done, and then I'm done with this. So the next thing that we need is butter, but I forgot to get the butter ready. So give us a second. I've got this is a stick of butter, which is 8 tablespoons. The recipe that Chance gives us calls for 6 to 7, and I've never heard a recipe that called for 6 to 7 tablespoons of butter where I don't immediately opt to the upper bound. So we're going to do 7 tablespoons of butter. So that's how much doesn't go into these biscuits. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to open this up. I'm going to unwrap it, make sure I get all these bits off, and I'm doing my best not to really touch it because I don't want to warm up the butter at all. Chance was very clear about this. No touching the butter, no warming up the butter. We want it to be as cold as possible. So I'm going to just chop it into little pieces.
So you want to try to cube it a little bit? So like make sure the piece, no.
Oh, I got this.
Just make sure the pieces are even.
Make sure they're even.
Yeah, you want them to be kind of even because as we go through, you're gonna
Oh god.
use the pastry cutter, and the more dispersal you get of the butter, the better the dough will come together.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm cutting these into rough cube shape. And okay. And I'm just going to put these on a plate. We're going to put the plate back in the fridge for a minute to let it get cooled down. And in the meantime, what we've been doing is the oven here takes a while, so we started preheating it ahead of time. It's warming up to 400 right now.
It's ready.
Oh, it beeped?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we had time. Okay, so let's get that in there. That looks good. Okay, so we're going to spread these out a little bit, give them the best chance to get chilled. Okay, good. Should I break that one in half or something?
That's alright.
Okay. Alright, so we've got our butter, right? Here's our butter. We're going to put that back in the fridge. If I can find a place to fit it.
I think we should have done that first.
It's okay. We're going to, we'll just chat for a minute. So, good morning, everyone. I have the chat on the wrong side. I'm going to move it.
I'm just gonna clean it.
Okay, just removing, reshuffling. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Now we can see. So Marisa is definitely short because I am not tall. Marisa is what? How tall are you?
4'11".
What's that in meters?
Not a lot of meters. I have no idea.
Yeah, chef and sous chef. Although today it's hard to know who is who. I think you're the chef today. I'm the sous chef.
I'm always the chef.
I'm soup chef. So we've got. Let's like think through what's gonna happen next, because it all kind of happens fast. Like one of the things that Chance talked about that I thought was really interesting is he said that once he adds the wet ingredients, the buttermilk, he's got 5 minutes to go from like introducing the wet ingredients to having them in the oven, and that means we've got to do a lot of stuff. What's up?
You didn't measure the buttermilk out.
I didn't measure the buttermilk out yet because we've got this thing. I figure that's going to be real fast for us. But so once we introduce the buttermilk, well, hold on, there's a step before that. So we're going to put the cold butter into our dry ingredients here, and then we're going to use this thing that looks like some kind of medieval weapon, and we're going to chop up the butter. We want to get it small and really incorporated. I don't know, like, we're not going for like dough, but we're going for no giant chunks of butter, right?
I don't know. I'm not great at biscuits, so I know pie crust, and I'm not as good at biscuits, so I don't know. We should probably look at the video.
All right, let's watch the video for a second. We will. Let me post the video for a second. Okay, so we're gonna think. Chance, do you have the video at hand since you're in the chat now? Also, hello and welcome. I look forward to being judged.
Well, I mean, we can just ask him.
He's right there.
I don't know why I'm looking at the computer. How, when we put the butter in, and we're blending, but like mixing it, oh, perfect.
Rough, powdery consistency. Okay, all right.
Oh, that makes sense, because there's only 7 tablespoons of butter.
Eco just made a good suggestion, which is while we're waiting for that butter to chill, we can throw all of the
Oh,
ingredients
yeah.
in the freezer.
Put it in the freezer. That's smart. I do that with pie crust and it works.
Okay, so we've got cold things, and while we're waiting for that to chill, let's give it like 5-ish minutes. I'm going to start making coffee, because I haven't had coffee yet today.
I haven't either, which is why I'm very grumpy.
So how's everybody doing? What are you making this morning? What's your breakfast of like? Because oh shit, today's Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. What's your Easter breakfast looking like?
Get those coffee filters. You can't have any coffee, Chris? Oh God.
Wait. See, now this is the problem. Let me show you something. I'm going to show you my favorite thing. Look at this. This is a reusable coffee filter. So this thing is amazing because it takes a little bit of doing. Let me just show you.
He
how to-
says it's his favorite thing. I had to force him to get that, by the way.
Look.
We went through so many coffee filters.
Yeah, well, we were trying to find one that worked. And also, I came around. I got here in the end.
No, I made you
Chris
buy
said
it.
that's what he bought.
Yes, it's so good. You'll love
Chris,
it.
do not use toilet paper. Do not listen to Tony. That's a terrible idea.
It's been weeks since you had coffee.
Oh my God.
I would have murdered someone by now. We ran out of coffee, and I thought Jason was gonna just break down and cry.
I kind of did. I had to drink tea. I'm not British.
He hates tea.
Okay, so we're gonna use Chemex. I've got I think this is the 8-cup model. I used to have the one. I used to have the wood thing. Can everybody see over here?
You should go on the other side.
Should I go on here, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do most of the prep over
Go
here.
on the thing. Do it on here.
Okay.
It's a weird shadowy thing. Guess I can close this.
Alright, so for the coffee, I'm preheating my water to 96 Celsius. And then I use the lid of the grinder. I've got a burr grinder.
It is Jason's kitchen, yes. And this is the bar in the next room.
Yeah, this is our kitchen. We're in our house right now. Like, we're doing the shelter in place thing, so we're just trying to find ways. Like, we can't go out, we can't see friends, we can't do cooking parties and stuff, which is kind of a huge part of what our social lives look like. And so, in the absence of that, we're here with you.
She's lying.
So,
That's all of our social life.
she's not wrong. So I'm gonna do 38 grams of beans. Okay. And then this is how we get bulk beans so that we don't waste paper. Right now we're kind of cheating. We can't get the bulk beans because it's not safe to get them. So we've been getting bags and then dumping them in here. But I found that this tends to keep the coffee a little bit fresher, like not too much, but every little bit helps.
It's just as good as a bag though, right?
Why not 38.5 grams? I don't know. This thing doesn't have a sub-gram measurement unit. And what am I doing?
I don't know.
I'm so distracted. Okay. So first of all, Tony, I think you're teasing me. And the reason that I use 38 grams is because coffee nerds will tell you that they're kind of ideal ratios, right? And so you want almost like a 16 to, 16 to 10? No, I can't remember what it is. There's a specific ratio, you'd have to look it up, of oh, I have it. Have a book. So this comes with the thing. And so
This will come with your filter, Chris.
yeah, you'll have this. How do I get into your... I'm gonna do math. Oh wait, that's
It's a pour over brew guide.
so good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna do the math to figure out what the actual ratio is. So we're gonna do 600 divided by 38. Okay, so it's roughly 16 to 1. So 16 parts water to 1 part coffee is what you're going for. I go a little bit heavier than that. It's not quite so. We use more water, but that's partially because I'm trying to stretch out the coffee because we don't have as easy of access to it, and partially because it's Marisa likes a more watered down cup. We actually add additional water to her coffee because she doesn't like
I
coffee.
like
She only
coffee
likes tea.
with my milk. It's medicine.
Okay, so this is gonna get loud. so what I'm going for with the coffee is we want the coffee grounds to be like basically the like salt like it's fine. Basically, I've got my grinder set as fine as I can get it. And the reason for that is because this metal filter is not like it's not paper, right? Which means that there are holes in it, and if the coffee is too coarse, then it will like it won't work. Like the coffee will immediately fall through the filter. You get this really kind of watered down cup. So what we're doing instead is we are using a really coarse grind, or a really fine grind, almost like espresso, because that helps hold it in the cup and gives you an actual good strength. It also helps control the sediment in the cup. One of the issues that you do get with a metal filter is that some of the coffee grounds will make it through the filter, and if you grind wrong or you pour too hard or anything like that, you will you'll end up with a bunch of like coffee grounds in the bottom. In general, this isn't a big deal because like you're pouring out of this thing you can see, so you just make sure you don't pour those into your cup. But you know, you also usually want to leave like the last tiny sip of coffee in the mug so it doesn't get real sandy in your mouth. So next, we're almost ready on the coffee here. You're standing so like
I know.
professionally. You're very like.
I'm very nervous.
So yeah, we're so close. I've had 2 cups of instant max while I was drinking it.
You sound like Jason's dad.
So okay, but here's what I'll say.
Who comes to our house and hates the fact that we make coffee this way.
Right, here's a good like my dad in a snapshot. The last time that my dad came over, he brought his own Keurig machine. He just like carried it in from his trunk and set it up on our counter so that he could make coffee fast. And he brought a microwave. We don't have a microwave in the house because when we moved in there wasn't one, and like we didn't own the microwave in our last apartment. It was like built in. So we got here and we were like, okay, well let's see if we ever like miss a microwave, and we just haven't. So we don't have a microwave. And my dad, you know, finds this just unconscionable. So he brings his own microwave.
He brought the microwave to drive me into a panic, and it worked. It was at Thanksgiving, and I was already trying to put everything together, and he comes in with this huge microwave and just says, "Where should I put it?" And they needed it for one thing, to melt chocolate or something.
He did not leave the microwave. We wouldn't let him.
No, he did not leave the microwave. I almost had to kick him out too.
It was a good troll.
He was so happy.
It was, yeah.
He was so happy with himself.
All right, so we're almost at temperature here. We need about 10 more seconds. Come on, Cup. So the next part is probably like the people who don't. The reason that I make my coffee slow is honestly because it's like, typically this is the first thing I do in the morning. It's quiet, you know, it's early, and I'm the only one up. So it's sort of like a meditation for me. Like I don't know, I just kind of like take a minute to go very slow and kind of, you know, just pour myself a cup of coffee. It takes about 10 minutes, and in that process, it's a good way to just kind of, I don't know, like reset before the day. If I needed a cup of coffee in a hurry, this is infuriating. So like when I have 5 minutes before a meeting, I kind of can't make coffee. I have to like either show up late to my meeting or wait until after the meeting to make coffee.
I am very sweet. See, there's now.
Now there's proof.
I know there's proof.
You shouldn't have said that. She's never gonna.
So Chris, or anyone who's doing coffee like this, he's letting the coffee. I can't believe I'm going to use these words. He's letting the coffee bloom.
No, keep going. Keep going.
Anyway, he poured a little bit in, like maybe 50 grams. He measures it and then lets it sit and kind of drip through. I hate to say that it actually is worth it, because I definitely, when he's not here, I make my own coffee, and I did it once without letting it sit, and it totally made a difference. It like creates a better seal when you're pouring the water through.
It also, when you get the coffee wet, it like rehydrates.
He's got it on the scale.
Yeah, I've got
Chris.
the scale going, Chris. So I'm just pouring in now toward 700 grams. So like I said, we go a little bit more water than the 16:1 ratio. I've also figured out that 700 grams, in addition to the water that we put into Marissa's cup, is exactly enough to fill both of our mugs. So that way, we end up with just the right amount of coffee. We put cream in it anyways, so we're not like purists over here. We're not, we're not being real snobby about it. We just know what we like. But don't look at me like that. I'll drink the instant stuff. I don't care. I drink Keurig coffee all the time when we go to people's houses.
Do you want your mug?
Yeah, please.
Where is it?
Great question. Where's your mug?
In my office, dirty. Which I think is where yours is. No.
Okay, so I'm going nice and slow on this. Just pouring right in the center, very patiently, because if you rush it, you get more sediment in the cup. You'll also overflow your filter. And we're almost there. Let's get to 700. Okay. Alright, so that is the coffee. Then we'll get some cream out. Okay, so we've got Marissa's mug here. I'm just going to move this over. It's still draining, so I want to be gentle to not shake it loose. And then the way that Marisa does this is I put about 75 grams of cream, which is a lot of cream.
I like coffee with my cream.
Okay. Yep. And then I put in 100 grams of water. Okay. Then we're done with that, so we can turn it off. Then we add the coffee. Just got this cup over here to catch any drippings off that filter. And then I add 150 grams of coffee. So for those of you doing the math at home, yes, this drink is less than half coffee. All right, and that is your sort of coffee. And then for me, I usually do about the same amount of cream. This is a pretty big cup. So then just pour gently, because we'll see at the end here, there is going to be some sediment at the bottom.
Oh, so hot. Right in the face.
Okay, we can just skip that last bit because that's got the sediment. I'll bring this up close to the camera so you can see. So because we use the metal filter, I don't know if this is visible at all, but there's some kind of just like coffee silt at the bottom. All right, set that aside, and now I think our ingredients are cold.
Oh my god.
What's happening?
Nothing's happening. I didn't chop all of it out last.
Okay, well, we don't need that yet. We don't need that yet.
Yes, we do.
Nope, we gotta get the butter into the dry goods
Oh.
first. Alright, so we've got our dry goods, which is again 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm just gonna start
Rock the thing.
rock the thing. Oh, that's better. That works better for sure. And I'm not touching the bowl. I'm not touching the ingredients. I'm just touching this this pastry thing.
If you rock it and then scoop it and then rock it and then scoop it.
Rocking and scooping, rocking and scooping. Okay. I feel like Chance cut during the video, so I have no idea how long this actually takes. So I'm just gonna go until I get a powdery consistency.
Yeah. I will say, I make a lot of bread. I suck at biscuits, so.
You don't suck at them, but we don't
I
practice
made
either.
hockey pucks last time.
You did make hockey pucks.
They tasted
But
delicious.
you know what? We know why. We
And
watched
they
Chance's
didn't
video.
rise at all. It was
We watched
awful.
Chance's video and we know why. Our ingredients weren't cold enough and we didn't get it into the oven fast enough. The dough sat too long.
Oh yeah, the 5-minute thing was a revelation to me.
So we are.
It was cold. I had everything cold. I didn't touch it.
You're making a lot of excuses for your hockey pucks.
I overworked it. I think I overworked it. You know when you like overwork pie crust and it gets all like oily and gross? I did that with biscuits.
Okay. Still going here. We've got. I can still see some
It was
butter
1 to
chunks.
2 minutes.
1 to 2 minutes. I have no
Uh-huh.
idea how long.
It's been about a minute and
Okay.
a half.
Switching arms because this is hard work.
It is. Okay, now
Hold on.
I know, but it's getting there.
Is it?
Well, look, it's a powdery
Oh, is it?
consistency.
I don't
You
know.
gotta get that butter off the side.
I'm
And it's
trying.
not the, no,
Jeebus.
on the side of the cutter.
Oh, look at all that. A lot of butter on
This
the
is why I
side.
didn't want him to do it by himself.
Hey, I would have figured it out eventually. Probably.
Mm.
It's also good that I erred on the side of more butter since I'm clearly not getting it all into this dough. Alright, so.
I would shake it off and I would call that good. Like you're gonna
Look
overwork
at-
that shit.
Look,
I don't know.
there's still a bunch of butter on
Help,
my
Chance, help. Where to go?
Chance, can you overwork this part?
Yeah, because it'll warm up. I don't know. Oh, don't lose any butter that's stuck to the knife. You can overwork it, he says, yes.
Okay, so
Stop.
I'm okay.
Get the butter off of the
I'm
thing.
getting the butter off of the thing.
Use a knife.
Where did my knife go? Did you take my knife?
Yes, I cleaned it.
How'd you take my knife?
Because I needed to be clean.
We're gonna need this again.
Use the butter.
Oh, good. Just don't.
Or a spoon.
You know what? The revenge for this is that we're gonna do a video where you cook meat, and I don't get to help.
You think I'm not helping? What do you think
No,
I'm
but
doing?
like where like I can't touch it, like I just have to watch you and provide advice.
It's like when we made that cheesecake. We made a cheesecake togetger.
Oh god.
And he was very adamant that he made the cheesecake.
It also work.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Just it's all fine. Look how efficient I am. Okay. All of the butter.
Come on.
Is off this.
We're on a timeline.
No, we're not yet. Well,
It's warming up.
you're warming up. All right, let's get the buttermilk. All right, now at this point, we don't know what happens next. So I'm going to. Do you want to watch that video? Skip forward to the part where he adds the buttermilk. So I'm doing. Wait, is it 2 cups?
I thought it was 1.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's
all right.
1 cup.
Oh god. All right, that's fine. Look, this is why we use a measuring cup with a spout. All right. Okay. No, it's still too much. 1 cup?
Yep.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
Did I do something wrong?
No.
Okay, that's my 1 cup.
No. Hold it up.
I did hold it
No.
up. What? Okay, you tell me. You tell me what I'm doing wrong. Am I right? Thank you, chef. Okay, so. What do we?
What? To the part where he adds the buttermilk.
When you mix in the buttermilk, you're going to get a lot of sticking to whatever you use to mix. Don't mix too much and use a smaller spoon. Smaller spoon. So I have.
Hold on. I got it.
Well, that's what Chance just said.
Okay.
We're getting like
Live help.
we're getting live support here. Where did our?
What are you looking for?
Where's that red spatula?
You can't use the red spatula.
Oh my
the
god.
last
Okay,
line.
fine. Where's yours?
Use the pink spatula, but he's using a spoon.
Like a metal spoon?
Yes. Get the spoon.
Just like a spoon? Chance, is this
I
right?
think so. He's stirring it with a spoon.
Alright, here we go.
Yeah, see, look. He's stirring it. That's just a normal ass spoon. Is that a big spoon?
No,
Use
it's
the
a
big-
normal
use
ass
the big
spoon.
Well,
Getting micromanaged here.
it's
fine. No, it's fine.
You
It's
are
fine.
getting
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna be good. Then what happens? What does the dough look like?
You gotta wait till he pours it out. Don't pour that in yet. You
I
do
just
not
kinda-
know.
I just
I know, but we don't know what we're doing, and if we have 5 minutes,
What
you
isn't
need
shit
to
warming up?
flour this first.
I need to flour it first?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Chance, no pressure, but the butter is warming up. God damn it. Okay. You are gonna second guess us into shitty biscuits is what's gonna happen. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. So, nice floured surface. Okay, I'm going to pour this in. Oh god, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. We're in business.
Stir it.
Oh my god. Alright, I am stirring. I don't want to overwork this, so I'm basically going for something that looks like it'll hold together, but I don't want to overwork it. So,
Get that flour on the side. There you go. That looks good.
is that done?
That looks good, Chance, right? Oh, he can't see it. 5 minutes, he's yelling at you.
5 minutes.
Come on.
You started to, or what, are we going with this? Is this it?
I think so. I mean, look. Yes.
Okay, here we
Do
go,
it.
here we go, it's out.
Oh, this is so stressful.
Alright, so I've got
Pat.
pat,
Pat, pat. Not so hard.
patting,
Pat, pat, pat.
patting, then what?
I don't know. And he's using some flour to just make sure that it doesn't.
Well, this feels like it's not even combined. Okay,
Well.
so I'm patting.
No, his is falling apart a little bit.
Okay,
Fold it.
okay, so here's this other one.
Fold. I'm yelling at you.
I'm folding, Jesus. Okay, alright, folding, patting.
And he's incorporating pieces that have gotten out back in. That's
Okay,
what he's
so
doing.
then I'm folding again.
Oh, see, and it like will come together as you fold. Get your pieces.
Get my pieces. Oh
How
my
many
god.
times do we fold, Chance? Tell me.
Okay,
How
patting, patting,
I
patting.
don't know. He's folding it a lot. Like, look at that. It looks. Okay, I get it. So what it should do?
Did you
Alright.
put the flour away? I definitely need that.
See, look. It's like coming together,
Yeah, I see that.
and he's able to like keep it consistent.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
Hey, Chance, do you use stop folding? Cut.
Cut, stop folding and cut. Okay. So we don't have a round biscuit cutter, so we're going to probably egregiously
Stop.
offend Chance, and I'm going to do square biscuits. Because rather than trying to find something that was round, get out of here. You're taking my moment.
Go.
Jesus.
Do you use a parchment paper? I don't know if he's.
These are absolutely not the same size.
Well, you wanted to cut it.
Just shut your mouth.
Stop.
This is literally what he does. I watched the video, unlike you.
I watched the
backseat
video.
baker. Okay.
I will say these already look taller than the ones I did, so 10 out of 10.
Cut this one to be the same size. And cut this one to be the same size. I'm gonna take all all of
Directly
this.
on the baking sheet is fine, okay.
Okay, and I'm going to pat it out. Going to do this. Okay,
You are giving him a heart attack.
I'm giving you a heart attack, obviously.
We are at 5 minutes over here, yo.
We're fine. We're well within our bounds, I think. Okay, get him in, get him in, get him in! Alright, so now we're going to bake for 20 minutes. The oven is preheated to 400. We did at least think that part through.
Chance, that was so stressful. You yelled 5 minutes in the chat. 5 minutes!
What we should have done is started a timer.
I was looking at my phone.
How did we do?
We were about 5 minutes.
Okay, perfect. That's all. That's what we were told to do.
Watching you guys argue is better than the Biscuits, yeah. Surprisingly, you're not the first person to say that.
Okay, all right. So we have made the biscuits, and now all we have to do is wait.
Is hopefully not ruin the Biscuits.
For the next 20 minutes, we should figure out what we want to eat with them, or are we just having biscuits for breakfast?
You could do, I don't know how many eggs you have.
We got eggs.
Do you?
I think so. We should.
Gotta have a veggie. And saute that broccolini.
Yeah, let's do that
As
broccoli.
a side.
Yeah, you want to grab that out?
You can do both. Do you want to do both of these?
Check that. The back ones might not be good anymore. They've been there for a while. Like they might be fine, but they also might be a little something. These are
new.
Yeah, these are fine. Okay. My knife somehow ended up over here again.
Oh,
What's up?
they look pretty good. I mean, it's been in there like 2 minutes, but they're not deflating like mine did.
Well, that's good. Okay, so we're gonna do just a really quick saute on these. This is some broccoli rabe, right, or broccolini? What does this say?
I don't know.
Sprouting broccoli. So we're just going to. I just rough chop this. So again, I've talked about this before, but when you are holding a knife, you don't want to hold it back here because you don't have any control. So you want to go like thumb on the knife and then wrap over and actually hold it like this right on the blade. That gives you more control. I learned that from a chef. That's not me like saying I invented something. And then I'm just gonna rough chop these because we're gonna throw them into a pan and
You
saute.
need to rinse them too. In the
I don't really. These always kind of taste woody, so I'm not gonna eat those. I did hear you.
Do we have any mushrooms? Did you use them all?
I think we used them all. All right. So now, this thing. Throw these in here. Give them a rinse. And then, do you want to start preheating that skillet for me?
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's another. We have that green garlic too.
So I have to give you some. We'll get that green garlic out. That'll be really good. This is my bench scraper. So this is Marissa's bench scraper. It is not allowed to be used for anything except flour. This is my bench scraper. It's used for everything because that's what a bench scraper is for.
No, that's not what a bench scraper is for. When you use the same things that you use to cook as when you bake, it changes the flavor of the baked goods. Case in point, my very great spatula that he used to cook with, he cooked meat with it. You know what people don't like? Meat flavored chocolate chip cookies.
Depends
So
on,
no, they're
depends on the
not
people.
meant to be mixed. Oh my god. See, you made me so mad I forgot what I was doing. What do you want it at? Like 5?
I would no, set it like medium.
3.5?
Yeah, that's good. So we have our gas stove. There's like a boil burner. I gotta put this somewhere else. It's hard. We don't have a lot of paper towels, so we're trying not to like use tons of them. So things that I would usually do, like I'm just letting this dry out a little bit so it's not super wet. Things that we would usually do, like throw this in some paper towels. Those don't happen anymore, which means that like my whole life now is letting things drip dry and stuff, which is it's a shift, right?
Chance, they look so good. Holy shit. That biscuit is huge. It's so big. It's so big. It's so tall.
Holy crap.
I
Okay.
know.
I'm already super excited about this. Okay, so now we've got our broccolini. Where did that green garlic go?
I have it. I'm rinsing it.
Okay.
How many do you want?
Let's do three of them. We should cut one of those down and see if it'll grow.
I'm going to.
Look at this, we did this weird thing. We got some leeks, and then we put them in some water, and look at them, they're growing again. So that's weird, but it's also kind of exciting. We saw that on Twitter, I can't remember who shared it, but yeah, sure.
I'm going to cut this so that I can put it in the water.
Cut more. Here.
What?
Yeah, cut up like here. I'm not going to use that part anyways.
You're not?
No.
Why?
It's not ready yet. It's not as good. Yeah, this is the good part. Shit.
Hey, what?
Alright, so take these, cut off these withered parts. Alright, pull this one off because that's looking a little dead. Cut off the withered parts. And this is green garlic. It is similar to a green onion, but it is obviously more garlicky in flavor. And then I will kind of bunch these up like this, and then I'm using my knuckles are further forward than my fingers so that I don't chop my fingertips off. And then I'm just gonna give these a real fine chop, because I almost want them to be like a garnish as opposed to like a big chunky thing that you bite into. About 12 minutes left on the biscuits. We'll see if we can get these timed right so that our eggs come out at the same time as the biscuits, which I think will be, that's going to be a challenge, to be completely honest. Alright, so now we've got some greens that we can use to finish, and we've got some greens that we're going to saute up. So this has been preheating. It's already got some, let's see, I need to turn this a little bit, don't I? Whoops. Turn this, nope, not like that, no shit, now I can't see. Let's turn this like this. Okay. Alright, so. Alright, so we've got these over here. This skillet has been preheating. It's got some like some bacon grease in it. So I'm just gonna leave that because that'll be really nice for this. Get that in there. Okay. And then what I want to do is I kind of want this to almost like fry, which is why I'm excited about the bacon grease that's in this skillet. Because what I'll be able to do is kind of let it sit until it almost like just barely starts to blacken. So not like actually burnt, but just where it gets crispy. And there's a ton of good flavor in there. So I'm going to salt and pepper. Get that incorporated. And And then we're just going to leave this alone for a minute and let it crisp up.
You okay?
Not yet. I'm going to do that while I let these crisp.
What are you doing? Are you doing a scramble or?
Well, I was thinking I might just do those on the side and maybe do some, I might show off that spooning technique for the sunny side up eggs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
You should do poached eggs one day. That's always a fun one.
Oh yeah, you can teach that one. Where did our eggs go? Oh, here they are.
Where they always are.
Yeah, they just got buried.
Careful of the light. Woo.
Wow, I
That's
did not do that on purpose.
No, I know. I almost knocked it over a minute ago. What do you need?
Nothing really. Like, so what I'm gonna do is I've got a, I just tried something that somebody was talking about the other day, and what it was is it's a sunny side up egg. So if you're not familiar with what a sunny side up egg is, it's when you crack an egg into a frying pan, you let the bottom cook and you don't ever flip it. So you let the top kind of stay runny. So those are really good. Like I love a sunny side up egg, but the catch with it, you're gonna want. No, you're good. The catch with sunny side up eggs is that a lot of times you don't get the white all the way cooked, and so that ends up being kind of, it can be slimy if you don't get it right. Or you wait long enough for the white to cook, and then you get a like cooked solid yolk. At which point it's why bother, right? So what I want to do instead is I'm going to show you a technique that I just learned where you put a bunch of bacon grease in the pan, like enough to puddle, and then you crack your egg into it, and as you're cooking, you spoon the bacon grease over the top of the egg, and that cooks the white really, really solidly so that you get this perfectly cooked white with a really soft, runny yolk, and it's a really, really good sunny side up egg. I don't even. Yeah, I did season it already. So these should be getting real close.
They're not ready yet. So with these, what you'll notice as you make them, there's a few ways. And we typically saute them, and they will turn, the stems will turn a really vibrant green. So they're normally green anyway, but they turn like this glossy, vibrant green when they are cooking almost all the way through. And then you want the little ends to kind of crisp up. So I didn't watch what Jason put in this, but normally I put in a little bit of oil first.
I had bacon grease, so I just.
Oh, perfect. And then, well, that's not going to crisp them up the same way though.
It's literally pork fat.
The difference, I don't know, I don't understand it. I have to read up on it. But when you put olive oil in or vegetable oil, it crisps it up differently than when you use animal fat. So they won't get as crispy, I don't think, because we didn't use like a vegetable oil. But typically I do a vegetable oil first and then let them crisp. I saute them, let them crisp, and then I put in some butter or whatever type of additional fat I want to add.
Where did that 1 tablespoon of butter we had left go?
I put it in there. And, yeah. Okay.
So we're just going to throw in a tablespoon of butter, finish them up with that, and then I will empty out this skillet. Do you want to grab out some plates actually? We're about 5 minutes away from food.
Someone's saying we should try gravy.
We should try gravy. I mean, these biscuits are really,
Oh my god, you almost died.
like these biscuits look so good. So I'm like cautiously optimistic that this went well. And assuming that we have actually figured out how to make a decent biscuit, I'm going to be way more excited about trying different types of things. Biscuit sandwiches, doing gravy, figuring out ways to use biscuit dough for all sorts of delicious things. Previously, I've just stayed away from it because I can't ever get them to taste good. So far, Chance is looking like he might have just opened up our world to a whole new group of cuisines here. Not cuisines, just shit made with biscuits.
You could try your sandwiches on biscuits. Jason makes a really good breakfast sandwich.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Honestly, probably the best breakfast sandwich I've ever had.
She's not just saying that because she has to.
I'm not, although
Checks
I
me
do.
out. Let's split these up. Oh,
It's gonna get cold, you know.
we got. What do you want me to do? We're out of time.
Okay.
Actually, what I am gonna do though, I'm gonna throw this
I
in.
wouldn't.
I'm just gonna throw it in for a quick minute. Let it just barely get warm. Because I don't like these cold. Well, I do like them cold, but I like them better when they've just had enough heat to start to open up.
That's the green garlic.
Yeah, the green
Just
garlic
talking
that I
about.
just threw in.
You can also put some of that as garnish on the egg.
Yeah, that's why I love some.
Oh. I don't know why I'm standing like this with my hands behind my back.
You're so.
Said I remind him of a sergeant.
All right, come over and try this.
No, it's
Taste
too
it.
hot.
Taste it.
Oh my god.
Blow on it.
It's very hot.
Taste it.
So hot. Yeah, that's good. You need more pepper.
I do need more pepper. Okay, I
Alright,
think
that's done.
this is done enough to come out, so we will pull that over. Let's. Okay, and so what I'm gonna do is we're basically just gonna get all the chunks out of this, and I am being like I'm not digging to scrape this pan because we don't want to gouge the cast iron, but like also cast iron is really hardy. That's why it's such a popular thing. And it takes a lot to damage a cast iron pan. So I'm going to. We got our tub of bacon grease. I'm going to grab a spoon. Do you mind grabbing one for me? And I'm literally just going to take a huge spoonful of bacon grease and throw it into this pan.
Oh my god, we're gonna die of a heart attack.
No, most of this isn't going to go into us. Most of this is going back in the jar. I mean, it'll eventually go into us, but like for right now.
There's not a sandwich anywhere here today, no. Jason makes a really good breakfast sandwich, but we don't have the stuff to make it. But I think I'm looking at these biscuits and they look amazing, and I definitely think we could do them with do a breakfast sandwich with them.
Yeah.
And honestly, those breakfast sandwiches are so good. So 10 out of 10.
All right. So now I have a puddle of extremely hot. Oh, I need that. Extremely hot bacon grease. I'm going to just make sure that the spoon itself has melted off all of the bacon fat.
We did make sandwiches last night for dinner.
Oh,
I
they
made
were
more
so
bread.
good. So Marisa made sourdough. She's been making sourdough forever, but we've had, as you might expect, a little more time lately, and so she's been experimenting with all sorts of good baking. And today, right, you're gonna finish up a post on how you made that.
Yeah, it's not going to be a very great video, I don't think, but.
But
I'm
she
gonna finish it.
recorded a video like top to bottom of how she makes sourdough, including like the starter and the rate, like rise, all that stuff. All right, so we're ready to go. We've got 1 minute left on the biscuit, so it is egg time. I'm gonna crack 2 eggs into the skillet, and I'm just gonna crack them straight up. Okay. Then a trick, if it's off center, you can literally just grab the top of the yolk and gently reposition it for a second. Okay, I'm gonna get the other one in there. All right. Reposition that. Okay.
Where did you learn that?
I don't know. It's
That is
some
a weird and gross
some
thing.
kitchen somewhere. All right. So then I'm going to grab my spoon and tilt the pan toward me, and I'm just gonna spoon the grease on top of the eggs. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I want the white on top to cook through. And so I'm just throwing the grease right on top, splashing it on there. And what that's going to do is give us a nice cooked through egg without an overcooked yolk, and it's not very much work, and it's super flavorful. and it just adds a little something extra. Because again, you know, this is just pure bacon fat. I'm literally throwing like melted pork fat on top of this egg to give it some extra flavor. Almost there. Good, 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 good. All right, and the eggs are done. The biscuits are done. How do those look? Oh, those look good. Okay.
I
So
don't
then
know,
we
can
need to butter
people
the top.
see that?
Butter the top.
Oh shit. Okay.
All right. So here is one perfectly cooked sunny side up egg. Here's two. Let me bring this over and show you. All right. So basically what we've got here is this egg is really runny. You can see how runny that yolk is, but it's actually cooked through, so no slimy whites. I think that's right. Is that right? And then we've got the this broccoli, which is nice and buttery. It's got that green garlic for a little bit of a garlic twist, salt and pepper on it, some butter. Oh, it's so good. Now we're just gonna get.
I'm using a pastry brush to butter the top of this.
All right, and just do.
I don't know what.
I'm just gonna steal one.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the biscuit that came out. It puffed up really
What does
nicely.
Chance think? Where is
Chance,
it?
what do you think? Are you proud of us? Did we do you right? And so I'm gonna pull this thing apart. Oh yeah. Yep. You can see here, beautiful layers. It's nice and flaky. It's not a pancake. Oh man, that's so good. All right. So you got one for yourself? We should just bite into these at the same time.
Well, I want to finish buttering these while they're hot.
Okay, then I'm gonna bite into one without you.
Before.
All right, let's try it.
Good?
That'll go biscuit. That's like there's no butter or anything on
Oh, sure.
it. Chance.
That's a good biscuit, Chance.
That is a good biscuit, Chance. Like,
That is-
well done.
that is a
Absolutely
quality
well
biscuit.
done. And the square has an unexpected side effect of giving nice like crispy corners, which I
So-
kind of dig.
There's a place in Austin called Olame, and they do that. That's one of their things is that they don't make circular biscuits; they make square biscuits. And nice because I don't have a biscuit cutter, so that worked out.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw some of that green garlic on top of the egg. A little bit of salt. I should salt bake that.
You what?
I just salt bake.
You're dating yourself.
Wait, is Salt Bae, is that dated? Is that a dated meme? Okay, so then the next thing that I'm gonna do.
I'm waiting for someone to say yes.
So the next thing I wanna do is I'm just gonna pop into this egg so you can see how good this came out. All right, so this is, the egg is done up. I think you can see this, right? So we've got our, just look at that. That is it's like perfectly cooked, right? So there's no runny white. The white is cooked all the way through, and if I like pop this open so you can see, that white is completely cooked, but the yolk is completely uncooked. So this, to me, like everybody's got their preferences, right? Like maybe you don't like a really runny egg, but for me that's the perfect egg. And you know, it's really, really easy because all you're doing is you're adding so much grease to the pan that it can't stick. So that's like thing one, nice and easy. And then you just lean the pan a little bit so it's still on the heat, but all of the grease pools, and then you just spoon that grease over the top. So you're trying to repeatedly put the hot grease over the top of the egg, which causes, and you just end up with a really like just beautiful, beautiful egg. You need this. Hot damn. Look at this one. This one is a perfect cube.
Probably the one that I helped cut.
I'm sure this is the one that you did. Oh my god, this is so good. All right, y'all. Oh yeah, dip the egg in the biscuit, or dip the biscuit in the egg.
Happy?
Oh my god, it's so good.
Alright, so these are buttered now. I just used a pastry brush to put some butter on top so they're all shiny and nice. Let that soak in. Should be good. Also let them cool off. Alright, you ready?
I'm eating that whole tray of
Did you
biscuits
just eat
today.
all of it already?
I'm about to. It's so good.
Alright, well I'm gonna sit down to eat.
You don't want to just.
No.
You don't want to just torture everybody by eating it first?
No, I don't.
All right, y'all. I think that's it for us. We're gonna go eat this. Chance, thank you so much for hanging out. These were so good. They came out so good. It was a little bit stressful. I think next time we make them though, it won't feel quite so stressful. We know a little bit of what we're looking for now. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for coming out. Happy Easter. Have a good Sunday. I hope this got you excited about going out and cooking something. With that, I think we'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out. Turn off the oven.
I did.
Did it not end? End.